guys, and welcome to a new Wargame video by me, Vulcan. Today I have another deck video for you guys, where I'm going to be joined by Bubblebox and SilverRaptor. Please make sure that you check out Bubblebox's channel in the description below, and if you want more videos like this, then please make sure you also check out the playlist linked below. So in this video we're going to be going through our decks, our deck selection, and the reason for those choices. And in this one, we're going to be looking at the Norwegian deck, because it's Norwegian National Day. And to start off with, it will be myself talking through my logistics choices. So to begin with, I have the XA 186NO KPV.
Yep.
Okay.
Nicely armoured, fast APC. 100 km/h speed. I wish it was amphibious, but it's not, because the normal XA 186 is actually amphibious, but this one isn't because it's the heavily armored version. But yeah, just basically the best command vehicle, I think.
Yeah, I thought you'd go for that for its speed and agility and stuff. Yeah.
Like, it's not even worth getting the tank because it just doesn't have, like, it only has 2 more front armor. Like, I guess you have the main gun, but still. Anyway,
and it hardly moves. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say no to that tank.
Then I have a card of Command Infantry. I have the Commander Plus in the Bell 412. I have it in that helicopter because it's faster, basically.
Yeah, it's a bit faster. Yeah.
Then I have an FOB and the AS332 supply helicopter.
Cool.
Which literally looks like it's supposed to be on lifeguard duty, but like, you know.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be a press helicopter or something, isn't it? I think, but yeah, I think they tried to do something a little bit different, but
yeah. Anyway, it's a decent supply helicopter. It does have 1,500 supply, which is actually quite a lot,
and it is pretty quick.
Yeah.
What about you, Silver?
I've got the 186 as well for my main command, but I also got command infantry because I needed to throw points somewhere in this deck. But I got them in the XA 180s because those are amphibious, so I was thinking I could like get them across amphibiously and covertly to try to steal sectors
Oh, okay, yeah,
fair enough.
Cool. Yeah, I've got the command. Well, I've got the infantry as well, the only infantry available, and I've got mine in just a very cheap M621s. I've got everything in cheap trucks, so I've got the cheap truck with my command infantry. I've got the AS332, even though it looks stand out a little bit on the battlefield with all its garish colours. It is, as you say, quite a decent supply chopper, a fob. And I have actually gone for a set of the trucks because I do like to have choppers and trucks, even though they're pretty poor trucks.
To be fair, I think the helicopter could be hard to spot in the afternoon winter sun.
Maybe.
Which is white and red.
The great thing about the Norwegian National deck actually is you get a lot of extra like availability. So you do actually get 20 trucks. Which is, you know, a nice amount.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So is that everyone's logistics sorted, yeah?
Yep.
Let's move on to the infantry, Silver. What have you got for your infantry?
Well, first off, I got the FSKs because these are basically the main decent infantry that they have with their very long range Eric's missiles and be able to fight other infantry. I got 2 cards of them.
Okay, in?
The 180s. I basically got all my stuff in the most of my stuff in the truck that are amphibious, so it gives a lot of mobility to the Norwegians, which I think they need.
Yeah. What else?
Then I got the regular Gevermans over the Geverman 90s.
Okay.
Basically because actually looking at this. Okay, never mind. I'm going to switch that out. My thought was, when I first looked at this, was the government, I either get more of them or they were cheaper, but now comparing them between the government 90s, I found that neither of those are the case. So I'm going to do the government 90s.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm giving the government 90s and the CV9030N, the basically the Martyr 2 variant with the autocannon and everything.
Okay, cool. Anything else?
And then I got 2 cards of the RBS 70s Mark IIs hardened so that they're more accurate for the anti-air.
Cool. And Vulcan, what have you got? Anything different?
I've got the 2 units of FSK. Only elite infantry worth bringing because obviously they're the same price as the Volkswagen and they're better. Okay. Then I have a card of the RBS 70 Mark IIs, which are really, really strong anti-air. They have 2,800 meters versus
that's
helicopters,
really
which is outstanding.
So
definitely,
so many of them in.
I normally wouldn't bring man pads, but these are like an exception because of the super range that they have. Then I have some Stormers. I have them veteran, so I have 14 of those in the XA180s. I haven't got any of the CV9030 ends. These are like the Swedish like STR-V40s, aren't they? Like the really good APCs. They're really nice, but I haven't actually bought any of them in because I think I prefer the mobility of all of the XA180s, which in my opinion are the best wheeled APCs in the game. So that's something going for the Norwegians.
Yeah.
Then I have a card of LHVs in the NM113s.
Really?
Yeah, I've got some bulk there, some reserve infantry to spam.
Yeah.
Okay, well at least their trucks are only 5 points, so
very cheap.
You can spend 100 points on these. And
this deck needs some substance, so
I
thought I would add it with them.
Okay, well I've gone for 2 cards of FSKs. 1 card in XA180s, and I've also gone for 1 card in the Bell 412s, just so I've got the flexibility of using one or the other. I've gone for 2 cards of RBSs because these are one of the better Norwegian units, as you said, mainly because of that 2,800 meter range. For a relatively low costs for each unit, and I've got them again, 1 set in choppers, UH-1Bs, and 1 set in XA-180s, and finally I have actually got 1 set of Volkswagen in trucks, mainly because I like to have a 15 unit strength squad if I can, infantry if I can get hold of them, and so I've got them in as well. So that's my
regular
5
or
infantry.
90s.
90s, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're the same.
Yeah, they are.
Yes. And that's my infantry.
Well, the only thing that I find weird about the Eric's missile system compared to like a Carl Gustav or something is that the Eric's has a hard time firing at close range because I think the aim time is actually a lot slower.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Right.
Yeah, and looking, one has a rate of fire and the other has a reload time, so...
Yeah, the Eric's like at close range, it's kind of like the same as a HGM. It basically is an HGM. Has it takes time to get on target. So at like close range in towns, it doesn't fire like immediately.
I see. Yeah. So I see. Do you think that's why there's a difference?
Yeah.
Or... Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. Glad we sorted that one out. Right, support. Now, I've got a full stack of support because I didn't have anything else to spend my points on. What have you got in your support?
I've got the M270s as my artillery. Really good for the AP power. Just kind of the best artillery unit they have, so that's why I took them. It's the only artillery piece I have as well. I didn't bother taking the M109s. Even though the M109A3GN is actually pretty decent as well.
Yeah.
I have the 2 cards of the NM195s. They have the 2,625 meter range versus helicopters and a 45% accuracy, which is decent enough. And they only cost 25 points. So really easy to spam about. And you can keep them in larger groups if I've taken 2 cards, so keep them in like groups of 2 and stuff, and they pretty much always shoot stuff down. And I've got those hardened as well rather than trained because I've got 2 cards. so that improves them a little bit more. Then I have one card of Noah's. They have the 4,550 meter range versus aircraft, and the 60% accuracy, your like standard super long range radar AA. So I've got one card of those.
You get more of them than normal nations do as well at 6.
Yeah,
I think normally you get 4.
Yeah, because of the because we're playing with a national deck. Then I have one unit or one card of NASAMs. Now, NASAMs are a really interesting unit because they have fire and forget radar missiles.
Oh!
And that's what makes them like super strong. Like,
yeah.
These things are incredible at shooting down helicopters on the move because they fire off their... Well, they have to be stationary, but you can move straight after rather than having to keep them there and then you're like if you normally fire a radar missile and you move,
like
then
the Noah's,
then it loses tracking and it misses. Whereas with these, you can fire and move straight away, and it's really nippy, so you can get out of like sticky situations really quickly and still shoot down enemy aircraft. Now, it does sacrifice a bit of HE power and a bit of range, but it's just so strong.
They are AMRAAM missiles, which are basically the long-range missiles on the planes that are used.
Yeah.
So
that's basically all my stuff. Yeah.
Cool. What you got, Silver?
I got the Noah's because for the anti-air, and then I also got the NM195s as well. One stack for Harden. So that's what I was. That's my anti-air there. I got the M270s as well, because there wasn't much else. I then got the NM106's mortars because they have 4 HE power, so it's slightly better than the 3 HE power, and I just thought these would be good for kind of precision artillery. And keep note that I said precision artillery a bit with these mortars, because you guys might facepalm, but I got the NM109 50-point howitzer. And the reason why I got this is that first off, it's 50 points, but it's 7 HE power. Now, I know its dispersion is wide, but the whole purpose of the wide dispersion, I think, is actually there's a value in wide dispersion versus close dispersion. Because of wide dispersion, if you know there's enemies in trees, but you don't know where in those trees, but you don't want to lose units, you just start targeting with all these artillery, and they can't go anywhere.
So you've got 8 of them, have you? Trained?
Yeah. And this is also good for villages. You know how people like the infantry hop from one set of buildings to another to avoid precision artillery? If you have wide artillery, they can't building jump because the artillery is landing everywhere in that village. So I just think that that's kind of good for having wide dispersion.
They're not so bad as well because the short range actually brings down the dispersion. So even though the calculation of the dispersion on the unit card is actually quite big, because their range is shorter, the dispersion isn't actually too bad. And also with corrected shot, these things can be quite accurate.
Okay, interesting. Cool. So,
and they're very good for smoking an entire area without having to move the smoke area too much.
Yeah. I've actually gone for the others, the M109A3GNs. I mean, I get your point on about dispersion and closeness and stuff like that, but I went for the others anyway. Mainly that was my last choice in the support. Wasn't really going to go for them, but I couldn't really think of anything else to spend on, so I got those. But I've also got the M270s. They were one of my first choices because I do like these in my deck for their AP power. And I've also gone for the mortars as well. You get 8 of them, so you can kind of just fire off 1 or 2 rounds and then move them quickly to just try and keep them nice and safe if you've got all of them in at once, although it is quite expensive to bring all 8 in at the same time for mortars. And then for my anti-air, I've got the Noahs, and I was tossing up between the Noahs and the NASAMs, and I was thinking about like how fast they move and their range, and I sort of swayed towards the Noahs rather than the NASAMs, although I get your point about the fire and forget and the nippiness of those vehicles. The Noahs much more difficult to get out of the way of artillery once they're fired. And I've also gone for the NM195. I think we all definitely had to go for these because there's not a lot else you can keep close to your front line to attack those helicopters that might come in. So I got those as well, and that's my support. So on to the tanks. Who's starting on the tanks? I've got a full set of tanks.
Go on, Silver.
Yeah.
Oh, tanks.
Come on, you get a lot of them. Let's not complain too much.
Okay. I got the first off was the best tank they have, the Leopard 1A5 NO2. I got these hardened because mainly you're not getting them for their armor, you're getting them for their gun, so might as well make the gun more accurate with my thought.
Yeah, I did the same, yeah.
And then I got the Leopard 1NOs, and the reason why is the stabilizer is almost the same as the accuracy. So this is kind of just going to throw them at the enemy just to see what fires back, and then see if they can shoot at a couple of them can shoot back at it before they all die.
Yeah. And that's it, yeah?
Yeah, there wasn't much else to choose from.
There wasn't not too much else. What have you got, Vulcan? What did you go for in your tanks?
I filled up my tank tab. I've got the Leopard 1A5 NO2, of course. I've got those hardened. I've got 2 cards of the Leopard 1A5 NO hardened as well. So that's like the downgrade, 10 points cheaper, but basically just as good. And then we have 1 card of the Leopard 1A1 NOs, which are hardened as well.
Yeah.
And then 1 card of the Leopard 1 NOs, which are hardened. And,
really? Got hardened. Okay.
So they've all been upgraded because the availability is so high.
Yeah. I've done something similar, but a little bit different. I've gone for the Leopard 1A5 NO2s, hardened, Leopard 1A5 NOs, 2 cards, hardened, same as you. And then I've gone for my last 2 slots, the Leopard INOs, trained, 2 cards. So I've got 68 of those. And they're my spam tank in case I need those.
Yeah, I was saying that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm almost surprised none of us got the M24, only because of past videos.
I was thinking about it, but like the Leopard 1 NO is actually really decent. You know, it's a nice cheap tank. Whereas if you go like as cheap as the M24 in this deck, it's just so bad. It really is.
You're not even gonna kill APCs.
Like in for instance a New Zealand deck or something, then you kind of have to take it. But in this case, you don't, because the Leopards are like good enough.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the same. On to the Reconnaissance, and Vulcan, what have you got for your Reconnaissance?
So to begin with, I've got the AS 350 for Recon. Now, this is a really good Recon helicopter, mainly because it has the 6 strength, which is just really good, and
it's pretty fast.
Yeah, 290 km/h speed, very good optics, a nice nippy helicopter that's going to take a hit for you. So yeah, just nice to have. And then I have the Rover REKV, disposable 25-point trucks with very good recon and 95 km/h speed. Again, nippy, but on the ground instead. So, yeah. Then I have the Opcla ring, the infantry, the Recon infantry. Now, these... I was so disappointed when I came onto the Recon tab, because I was hoping that there would be like a Recon squad with an MG that you could use to like follow up on your standard infantry.
Yeah, be infantry in their own right.
This is like as close as you can get to that, so that's why I brought them in instead of the Marine Jaegers. I just don't like using sniper squads. I think they're so easy to kill that they're almost pointless in some ways.
Yeah, you would think. I'm sure in reality Norway have got some decent Recon infantry with all the forests and everything in the north of the country. You know, I mean, I'm sure they have, so I don't know why they're not in their deck.
And then to finish off my Recon, I've got a stack of the NM116, which is
very good tanks.
Yeah, just a really nice, very good Recon tank. Now, not often I take a Recon with substantial armament, but you know, it's pretty nice to support your troops.
Okay, cool. What about you, Silver?
I have the helicopter and the Uplering. I have trouble pronouncing these things.
Yeah, the infantry.
I got the NM116, and it was a choice between that and the M8 Panzerable, because of its. I was having trouble trying to fill up points, but I eventually took that tank. I did get Marine Jaegers, and I actually got them in the regular 5-point trucks. And I don't normally get any units in the trucks because I like to have the transports to be able to help out if need be. Whereas these things have no guns, you just drop them off and then you just drive them someplace and they just sit there waiting to be shot at. But I got them so that they can quickly get to the front line and drop off these sniper squads, which with the exceptional stealth can get behind enemy lines and then just kind of scout for you, which is what the sniper squads are good for.
Yeah, sure. I've got a set of Marine Jaegers as well. I've got mine in choppers, and I understand what you say, that they are very easy killed when spotted. But that's the big thing, is when spotted, is if you can keep them hidden, because they have got amazing stealth. And as I've got quite a lot of artillery in my deck, I thought it might be worth just having a set of these to spot for me if possible. And then I've got the chopper, the AS350. We've all got that. It is a nice recon chopper. And then I haven't gone for the little tank. I've gone for these. I don't know why I went for these M8 Panzerbills.
That's what I was debating over.
I went for they've got a little gun with KE rounds. So kind of, if they're snuck up on in forests, maybe they could defend themselves a little bit, or I might be being a little bit over ambitious there, but yeah,
they can't shoot at helicopters.
I think it fires. It has such a high rate of fire. It's like, I think it's like a like almost an auto cannon, isn't it? It's like
almost, but these look almost like the armored cars from World War II. I'm pretty sure they are actually.
They're quite quick.
What, you mean the American ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
We had a surplus of them. We had to sell them to someone.
You really, the Norwegians aren't going to like you, Silver.
Probably not.
It's going to go out on Norwegian National Day, you know.
Oh.
So anyway,
sorry, Norwegians.
He doesn't mean it. He's very young. So moving on then to the vehicles. I think, who was first on the vehicles?
Go on, Silver.
Not. There's a lot to choose from. You can either have anti-tank guns or you can have anti-tank guns.
I got the NM142s, both hardened because have a lot of anti-tank potential. That would be what I found one of the main weaknesses of most of the Norwegian stuff, is if they do a tank push, you'll have a little hard time defending against them, but these are actually fairly decent.
Yeah. What about you, Vulcan?
They're super expensive, but I do have like one card of the NM142s, and I have them hardened. I only have one card, but that's it.
All right, yeah, I've got the NM142s as well. Hardened again. I've just swapped them out for hardened, by the way. Watch the video.
I actually have one border unit. I've got the recoilless rifle.
Oh, have you? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, recoilless rifles are actually fairly decent as support.
It's a heat round, though. It's heat. That means they're not KE, which I don't like. It's just...
But they have an HE power as well. And they're very good at taking care of like T-34 spams that Vulcan was trying to do.
The 3 HE power on these recoilless rifles actually makes them pretty strong. But I just think they're almost a waste of points.
Yeah, I just couldn't bring myself to take anything apart from the NM142s. I just couldn't do it.
Well, these were just sort of like a last thing that I picked, but I have seen recoilless rifles good. I remember one of my friends who brings them in fairly often said once, "Why do I have all these elite recoilless rifles everywhere?"
Yeah, he was just lucky, right?
Yeah.
Right, I would say go on to the helicopters, but
there aren't
any. No.
Yeah.
Bit of a shame. I'm sure they've got helicopters in Norway. So it's on to the aircraft.
Oh, yes. Now, the Norwegian aircraft is probably I would say their best part. Like, it's their best part of their deck, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So to start off with, I have a card of the F-16A Fighting Falcons. These things are incredible 1,000 kilometer per hour speed, and they've got the 2 1,000 kilogram bombs. They've got 20% ECM, and they only cost 125 points. You also get 3 of them on a card because we're national deck, so we get extra availability, which is just wonderful. They are brilliant aircraft. To follow up on that, I have the F-5A Puff. Now, these things, again, are amazing. They have 750 km per hour speed, which isn't great, but they have 30% ECM, and they are only 70 points, and they give you 2 anti-radar missiles with 50% accuracy. Now,
as long as one of those missiles hit, unlike the 4 that hits.
Like, normally, you would, like, the AP power is considerably lower than a standard anti-radar missile, but you don't need AP power to take out anti-air, so that's completely null and void.
Unless it's a ship, that's the only thing it's good for.
And also power. Maybe the armored newer is actually got quite high armor. But anyway, that's still going to pop it, so that's not particularly an issue.
Yeah.
Then moving on, I have the F-16AM, the best anti-air aircraft they have, the air supremacy aircraft.
With those AMRAAM missiles. Those AMRAAM missiles that the support has.
Yeah, they've got the fire and forget on both the infrared and the radar missiles, 50 and 60% accuracy respectively. Just incredible 40% ECM, 1,000 km per hour speed, and again you get 3 of them, which is just amazing. The Norwegian Air Force certainly coming into
you get 4 of those puffs as well. Yeah,
you get 4 of the puffs.
Cool.
Then I've got a card of the CF-104s, which are the napalm bombers.
I like how they have only 3 napalm. It's kind of like even dispersion all the way.
Yeah, they have 3 napalm bombs, but again, you get 4 of the bombers. They're 65 points. And just great fast deployment of really cheap aircraft, and you can just wipe out infantry squads. Then I have the F-104G starfighters as well for the 6 AP power cluster bombs.
I do as well.
Yeah, just in general, great again. You get 4 of them. 80 points is a little bit expensive, because especially considering you don't get any ECM, but still good for their purpose if they don't get taken down by AA, pretty much.
Cool. Yeah, I've got exactly the same for, all of them, exactly the same. So what about you, Silver? Are you the same as well?
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for wrapping that up with the aircraft. It's time to pick our favourite unit. Now then, I'm having a flick through. Does anyone really want to go first?
I'll go first.
Oh, I know what I'm going to pick. Yeah. Okay, what are you going for?
I'm definitely picking the F-16A Fighting Falcon. I think this thing is a beast. I don't know if I emphasized it enough, but I really think the 2 1,000 kilogram bombs on a 125 point Fighting Falcon is just OP, almost.
Yeah, cool. Great. Silver.
I'm going to go with the F-16AM variant because it's a very good air superiority fighter.
Okay. I'm going to go for a unit that I know I'm going to use quite a lot in the games. I'm going to go for, let's get it up. I'm going to go for the RBS 70 Mark IIs.
Yeah.
Very good choice.
Because I know I'm going to use them so much in these games with their 2,800 meter range against choppers. So I'm going to go for those, I think. Yeah.
So with Bubblebox finishing us off, I'd like to thank Bubblebox and Silver for allowing me to help them with their Do Decks videos. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please make sure you check out the playlist in the description below. It will take you to all the videos they've done so far on Wargame Red Dragon decks. So there are definitely going to be more videos like this to come in the future. We're going to be covering the rest of the Scandinavian national decks, and I also have a Eastern Bloc deck to show you guys, so look out for that. And gameplays using these decks will be coming to the channel as well. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.